Hello there, art appreciation peers and art enthusiasts. My name is Rose Irby, and today I'll be walking y'all through a small sample of our art exhibit that's currently going on at the Higher Art Museum for Amy Sherrill, American Sublime. One of the things I love is that this is an artist that is native to this community that is coming back to display some of her most famous works. And I hope y'all enjoy the slides. Angelica Arbalise was the curator for Amy Sherrill's art exhibit, and I have to say she did a welcome job, a wonderful job of making everyone feel welcome. I love that she chose this painting, which I feel that gave me a sense of family reunion or warm greetings. Every individual panel was having a different cardinal direction, inviting all from the south to the north to come to see this exhibit. I feel that it really did a great job in when you get off the second floor, just greeting you all together. Now, although I visit the art exhibit in person, I was too engaged by some of the artwork to really focus on taking a whole bunch of photographs. So I greatly appreciate that the High Museum provided some great examples of how everything's displayed. What I did include in here was a photo from the garage area too, which I like to advise people, please make sure you take a picture of the level of the garage that you're on, not just the parking spot, because sometimes when you get in off, it doesn't really line up very well. And I also wanted to include some details about Amy inside of here and how she attended Clark and Spelman. It looks like most of her early on years were not focused on being an artist, but more so she became an artist as a vocation. So I think that was great that they included this.
I chose this portrait as one of the opening shots because I felt like this is something that everyone wanted to see during this time, especially with the Obama Presidential Center being open recently. This work displays a phenomenal woman in our lives, our First Lady Michelle Obama. She has become an American icon and a leader, and I think Amy really helped capture that. One of the things that Michelle mentions in the audio file when listening to the artwork too is that Amy shows something that help, I would say, be inspiring not only to future generation but also help Michelle think about past generations too, and how it really shows a sense of dignity. What I love in this painting is that you can't really tell if Michelle's sitting on the bench or taking a knee, but her iconic style of putting her hand right near her chin, but giving a little bit of the shoulder, that sleeveless shoulder that she has, and how altogether Amy complemented that position with the dress that drapes from the middle half all the way down to the very ending, giving these great geometrical shapes throughout it, and still soft tone colors or warm tone colors, some would say, from the orange, the pink, and yellow, really glancing off and balancing the painting very well. It's something that I would say is going to be a picture that people will want for family historical purposes, generational achievements for them to be inspired by too. And one of the reasons why I love this painting. I selected this painting because I felt that the artist really wanted to communicate a message inside of here too. Amy Sherrill chose the painting of Breonna Taylor not just because she was a headline, a victim during this representation of the Black Lives Movement, but because she was an actual real person that needed to be portrayed as herself, someone who was in love and deeply loved too and lived a phenomenal life. One of the great things I love about this painting is that she explained to us that she took images from Brianna's social media, like her Instagram pictures too, and transformed them by adding other elements that were not currently displayed on her work too, but ideally what she would be seen as a woman who carried her faith, a woman who had this stance towards her too, with the constant posture positioning too of her kind of giving that one leg push forward near her engagement ring that Cheryl included inside of the image. I feel that really personalized the image. While this is not the Lady Liberty photo that as many have been talking about too, I personally think that this one gave me a Lady Liberty image towards it. I'm not sure if it's just because of the blue green tones in the dress style, or rather Cheryl intended to give the sense of justice and hope in the freedom stance. But that's what I personally drew, was a cultural connection of values during this time period, and ties very well into our next painting that we'll be discussing. What stood out to me the most, and one of the reasons why I wanted to see this exhibit, was to hear Arube's reflection on the image of her being betrayed in the transformation of Lady Liberty, or I should say, the transformation of Liberty. Inside of this, wanted to have the feeling of pride, which I really think is well captured with this image. Not just recreating the simple statue of Lady Liberty, but bringing this American iconic image into more of a contemporary style by including a black woman inside of it. I think was a phenomenal idea and brings the conversation that we need to have about cultural identity and belonging. Because Lady Liberty technically does not have a identity herself too in her um, iron green stance. But listening to hear from the video, you would get the sense of Lady Liberty having a sense of value of culture, getting a sense of feeling representative. And I think that's what Amy was trying to portray with this, give her a sense of dignity and importance too. What I love about all Amy's works is that inside of all of them you can see this grayscale being portrayed in the photograph. But inside of here, I think she really highlights more vibrantness with including the pink hair and the deep blue royal tones in the dress. And of course, adding that touch instead of instead of fire, having the flowers being displayed in the golden torch. I feel like this immediately gives that sense that you would give this to be a recognizable style of hers too, by having all of these complementary tones together. And it's a great way to end. Just an example of some of the paintings you would see at this exhibit. Overall, thank you for taking the time to spend with me highlighting some of the phenomenal works of Amy Sherrill that you can see at the Higher Museum, at least until the end of September. One of the things that I really appreciated about the exhibit, at the ending of the exhibit on the second floor, you get a chance to listen to the artist as she explores how she creates some of these phenomenal paintings and discusses her process from taking the images, getting them collected with her models, and then drawing them out to the scale on the beautiful oil and linen canvases and styles that you'll see before you. Something I recommend that could be rearranged with the art museum is where the gifts are being displayed. Um, the great thing is you get a chance to see them at the beginning. As you're getting your tickets, there is this section on the side, right hand side, where you can pick up some magnets and some lovely tote bags and puzzles and books and things. Inside of the exhibit, you get a chance to see some of the examples of what you would see in the books for her artwork in there too. As you're exiting, don't forget to stop back and look at that same area. And one of the great things, if you get the opportunity to go during this season, is you'll find that you'll get a lovely poster souvenir, which I've included in my insert at the ending. I hope you have a great time and thank you again for stopping by and watching.